Hey guys and gals, Super Dash, your boys can hear. Um, just thought I would bring up a topic that I just recently read about because I was curious about it. That is the original postal, which I love the living crap out of, and I bought it for my phone after I ended up asking running with scissors on Twitter if an Android version existed, and sure enough, they linked me to it, and love it. Even though I will say, you're gonna want a controller of some sort that touch controls. I mean, unless you're wanting a real challenge, and want to challenge yourself in the worst way possible, use the touch controls. But um, you know, otherwise, I say get yourself a 360 pad or Moga. Ace Power or something like that. But apparently, Google, all their infinite wisdom, decided to ban the game from their Play Store for violence or gratuitous violence or whatever. Well, I mean, at first Amazon also rejected it, but they later accepted it, and that's where I got it. So I pretty much bought. Okay, here's the history of me and the Postal series. I first bought Postal 1 off G2A. Technically, they didn't get any money from me the first go around. I got that for like 25 cents. And then, which I accidentally bought it twice, because it was so cheap on there. And then I bought Postal 2 complete with Share the Pain, Apocalypse Weekend, the original game, and Paradise Lost last year during a Steam sale. And been loving them ever since. But the funniest part with Postal 1 being banned and not being accepted on the Google Play Store for gratuitous violence, despite there being, let's see here, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Gangstar, Call of Duty series, Carmageddon. I mean, I can just name game after game after game that has very similar amounts of violence, if not more, in a slightly more realistic tone than Postal 1 did. And everybody can. And, yet those are still up. Although, yet someone could say, oh, it's because it's by big publishers. Well, I don't know whether really to consider Running with Scissors indie or AAA. Again, I guess technically they're independent because they aren't really under a huge publishing house like EA, Activision, Ubisoft, Konami, whatever have you. So I guess they count as independent. But, they're pretty huge amongst a lot of fans. And I guess also a lot of haters too, as I heard in a podcast, I think it was like the Cyber Den, via a channel, Jake the Voice. He had the full interview, which I got the link to that from Running with Scissors Facebook page. So, that was cool to listen to. And, it's kind of screwed up that indie developers would have to almost crowdfund and be able to bribe Google enough to get the most violent games onto the Google Play Store that are of the same ratio as Max Payne, GTA, and so on and so forth. So, it is a little bit hypocritical of how Google is going about it. And I don't agree with it, really. So, they got these guidelines, yet they don't really settle as such. I mean, they have their own little rating system, or I guess they fall by the ESRB. And in all reality, Postal 2 falls under the M category, alongside GTA and likes of that. So, I mean, it should be accepted, but it's not. But whatever. So, I'll get the Amazon App Store, whatever have you, I don't care. Because, and if Google won't accept it, God knows, Tim Cook and the extreme SJWs over at Apple probably would reject it outright. Although, I would challenge those RWS to try to put it to iOS. But I think it'd be for jailbroken phones only at this point. Which is why me and a lot of my friends say Android Master Race, and for a good fucking reason. Because we don't have to deal with the one dedicated walled garden that Apple has. So, we got options. Android is like Windows. Or, I guess Android is like PC in a lot of ways. So, I mean, I wish Vince Desi, Mike J, and the rest of the crew at Running with Scissors best of luck with the future games they're making. And who knows, maybe one day we'll end up seeing Postal 2 on Android one of these years. It'd be kind of a cool venture to see. Granted, I'm between, because I saw a fan project that was in cooperation with them called Postal 2 UDK, that was supposed to have, like, an Android version as well, and was going to have, like, all the parts of the map as one continuous map, kind of in the same vein as GTA 5, GTA 4, or Saints Row, or Skyrim, whatever have you, like a lot of other open world games, versus how it is now, which is very similar in nature to, I guess, how the early, or the first two GTA games and the PSP GTA games did it, where it would have to load in each part of the map. Which I will admit is, and I'm sure a lot of fans can agree, is kind of annoying, and is where an SSD helps immensely, or at least I think it does. I haven't tested it yet. I'll have to make a comment on that, on whether an SSD helps or not, because I have one on my laptop that is more than capable of running it. It's just its own accord of thermal throttling like crazy, because this thing's hell old, from 2009. But, I mean, it's more than capable of running it, so. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Postal on Android and Google's hypocrisy on this industry. So, yeah. Leave your comments down below. Peace out.